Hello everyone, thank you for joining me again. Well, here's a clue. Today is International Sea Monster Day. Oh yes, and look at the beautiful thing I have found. This is a Roman mosaic that was made in the year 300 BC, or sometimes they say BCE, which means before Common Era. Common Era is the year when Christ was born in the Christian religion. But not everybody has that religion, so Common Era makes it a good date for us to work with. And even back then, they had sea monsters. Look at the curly tail, look at the fangs, look at the flippers. So I thought today we will make our own sea monster. Oh yeah, I found this one just for fun. But I think this one is the Loch Ness Monster. Don't tell anyone. What are we going to need to make a sea monster? Look. I have two. So, we are going to need 2 colors of stiff card. And we're going to need some fierce monster eyes. We will also need some sticky tape, some glue, maybe a stapler. We're going to need a ruler and a pencil, a marker pen, our trusty scissors, and if you're really lucky to have one of these scissors that can cut in a zigzag fashion, see, that's the way the blade cuts, that'll make your life easier. So, how do we make our sea monster? Well, let us make some space and I will show you. Move this over. I've got 2 sea monsters here. I think we will do this one. I made this one with all these fancy little fins on its back, but my proportion of my circles were wrong. And they flip over and then they're under his belly, and that's not nice. So, what do we need? We need to cut our, to make a mark. In our sheet of paper, we get the halfway mark and we lightly mark it in pencil. Then we have to cut it in strips, and our strips have to be 3 centimeters wide. I saw someone showing it off like this. Oh, that's upside down, isn't it? So 3 centimeters wide. And then, when you cut it in half, your strip of paper is just the exact right size to make your sea monster. So, how do we do that? Well, I have made a start. I'm going to put our sea monster over here a bit out of the way. So, we use a strip of paper and we curl it over and we sticky it together with sticky tape. So, once you've made one, then you put the second strip through the center and you fold it over and you sticky it. And you do that again. What you want, and this is why I say 2 colors of card, because I want 4 of one color and 4 of the other color. So, 4 strips of 3 centimeters by about 15 if your dividing line is in the right place. And then you cut another strip, but this time you don't cut it off at the halfway mark, you go beyond it. You want this strip to be 20 centimeters long by 3 centimeters wide. And that will leave you with 2, if I would pick it up, 2 shorter bits. These are important. So, what do we do with the long bits? Well, of course, we will make the head and the tail. And this is how we do that. So, let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4. We shall give this sea monster an orange tail. So you use your long strip, but instead of gluing it together like this, oh no, we're going to pinch it together like that. But not just in any old way. We're going to use our little short bit and we're going to put that in the middle. Then we will use our stapler to staple it. So now we have something like this. Next thing we do is we go on the angle to cut the fin. We do not cut our circle of paper, so very carefully I chop and I chop, and that's what I end up with. Now you can use your normal scissors, but if you're lucky like me and you've got one of these, you cut it and it makes a nice zigzaggy surface. And you use your felt tip pen and you can draw some lines on it to imitate the way a fish's tail works. Now, just a little word of warning, watch out for the sharp staples, yeah? So that's our tail. Now we're going to make our head. And how do we make our head? Well, we put our paper through our loop and we bring it to a pointy end again. But see how my sea monster has some fierce teeth? Well, once I cut the eyes out, I keep my snips. So I put my snips in there so that it's in line. I staple it together. I use my scissors to cut it off in line again. Then I use my zigzaggy scissors to chop some teeth. And I think I'll go like that. And now I've got some teeth. And put my snips away. Next thing, I need to put some eyes on. And I've cut them out already. So I will use my glue stick. My glue has gone very peculiar. Doesn't stick so well. But anyway, see how the eyes come out of the face? So I'll do the same thing here. They're sort of half on and half off. Now once more, you have to be careful when you stick the eyes on, because you don't want them going all squint. How will the poor thing see if it goes all squint? So there. My sea monster is looking at us. We have to draw a nose and we can put some wrinkles on it. So I shall do that. I make a circle and a circle. Ooh, my staple is in the way a bit. And I draw the nostril. And I draw the creases on the nose like that. So now my monster has got fierce teeth and a wrinkly nose. Next, this one has some very fine ears. So I use my other leftover strip and very carefully I try to cut it into a square. Doesn't have to be exact. And then I chop my square on the diagonal. So now I've got 2 ears and I want to make them wiggly again. So I use my trusty zigzaggy scissors to make them squiggly. Oh, yep. And now I have to use sticky tape again, because otherwise it's very hard to stick. But before I do that, I have to draw the fins, so, or the ears. I don't know what they are, the pointy outy bits. And when you do that, do be careful to be sure that they are symmetrical. You don't want two of them pointing the same way. That won't work. So, here we go. Put some sticky tape behind it and find a place on the face where it will look nice and stick it in. And another bit of sticky tape and put it behind the pointy bit and find where it will look nice and whoops, stick it in. And just like that, I now have a googly-eyed sea monster. If you really want, you could make a little hole, or when you staple it, you can attach a bit of string and you can drag your sea monster everywhere. And it can swim and it can be fun. And you can make some in every color of the rainbow and give some to your friends. Maybe you can have a sea monster race to see who can pull their sea monster the fastest and the furthest. Thank you for joining me once more. Have fun making your sea monsters, and I'll see you again next time. Bye-bye now.